Welcome to the SciFi Pubcast. Come for a drink, but stay for the speculation. We're talking Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, a 2022 film from Marvel Studios and directed by Ryan Coogler. Last week it received 5 Oscar nominations, and it's dropping on Disney Plus in a few days. And we have thoughts. So grab a vibranium-infused cocktail. This is the SciFi Pubcast. Greetings, welcome to the SciFi Pubcast, the podcast that tries to be a pub and perhaps someday a pub that tries to be a podcast. As always, we are looking for customers to come visit our bars. So if you're passionate about something, want to be on a podcast, well, let us know because this bar is all about community. If you want to help us out, please consider leaving a 5-star review wherever you find the show and subscribing to our YouTube channel. I'm Joel. I'm the owner of the SciFi Pubcast, so to speak. And we're celebrating. Break out the scotch. We're celebrating our 100 regular type or kind episode. Yeah, there's been some sessional episodes and some specials, but this is like our 100 regular episode. It's been quite a journey, and we're not going anywhere. Yay! And we're here with, of course, our regular staff people. We have Keri Simpson and Derek Beebe. Guys, congratulations. Yeah. We haven't killed ourselves in the last 4.5 years.
More importantly, I haven't managed to kill Derek yet.
Yeah, that's astounding. That should be going on our 100 episode celebratory T-shirt.
I need to. I was like, I think I need to apply for sainthood or something at this point.
We'll put your picture behind the bar. How's that? Okay. Oh man, it's been something else, and of course we should have done on something really more serious, but we of course recording on the last minutes, so we're not doing a special episode for the 100th, perhaps down the road, the 200th.
We didn't manage to get our shit together quickly enough to actually plan a 100th episode, so we're just doing a regular episode, right?
Yeah, so it's piss poor planning on my part, and I've been busy, of course, because I'm tied up doing a PhD in the law faculty at Western University, and of course, I'm starting to write my dissertation. I'm putting words on paper. Not many words yet, but there's words on paper. Actually, yeah, a computer screen, mind you, but still, it's there. I'm starting to write my dissertation. Big news.
Woo. What percentage done are you?
0.1, something like that. I don't even have a title. I have a working title. It's really boring. I know when I had an official conversation with my PhD supervisor, happens to be Randall Graham, casual host of this podcast and a very good friend of the SciFi Pubcast. Yeah, he said to the first draft, dial it up. And these are fighting words for me. So it's a very interesting time in my life, both professionally and in terms of creativity. And I have to make sure I don't screw it up. So I've been doing a lot of research and reading and trying to sort out ideas in my head and make connections and try to be smart. So don't try. Be. I know. Anyway, I'm having fun. Okay.
As long as you're having fun, dude.
Absolutely. But enough about me. There is big news, and I'm going to ask you about your happenings in a second. But on the theme of Randall Graham and living my best life, it seems that I'm spending money, and I'll be on the Star Trek cruise out of Los Angeles in a couple weeks' time, and Randall will be on the cruise as well. So I'll be socializing.
So the send-off so I'll be coming to the send-off party, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure the details of the send-off party, but if it's in Long Beach, I'll be going. Okay, so there's that. We'll talk offline, of course, but it's going to be interesting. The cruise is a week long. William Shatner's going to be in the cruise. I'm sure we're not going to be able to see him except on stage briefly, but because it's
Well, you never know. I mean, the ships are big, but they're not that big.
Yeah, true. We're going to Cabo San Lucas, Mazatlan. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Mazatlan, okay, and Puerto Vallarta. And it's my first time on a cruise ship. So I don't know that much to expect. I've seen lots of YouTube videos. I have mixed feelings about this, but I'm going to go in being neutral and see if I enjoy it or not. And plus, it's Star Trek, and so you're spending a lot of time.
Make sure you drink a lot of water along with the booze.
Yeah,
and eat
yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, I do fall off the wagon occasionally. Sorry, this is my Irish Scots side coming out. But nowadays, I don't drink every day. I don't even drink every. I may have a couple of beers every twice a week, and so I'm cutting back in my old age. Yeah, That's good. Yeah.
Is the alcohol free on this cruise?
No, you have to buy a liquor package, and it's costly. It's like over $100 a day.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So, but it's like all you can drink, right?
Yeah, it's not just booze; it's everything. So because if not, they're going to nickel and dime you on the the soft drinks or the juices or the coffee. Yeah,
I didn't realize your cruise was this soon. I was thinking it was like a year away for some reason. I still think it's 2022.
Yeah, it says 2023, and it leaves February 24th. I'm flying into Los Angeles the night of February 20th, and I'll be spending a couple of days in Long Beach, chilling. I'm staying at the Marriott Courtyard, which is a mid-grade hotel, but it's still very, very expensive. And I'm just chilling and doing schoolwork and going for walks. I don't think I'm going to spend much time in Los Angeles proper. I don't want to spend the time doing the tourist stuff because I've done most of the tourist stuff already. And I'm in trying to save money mode because I'm blowing so much money right now. So there's that. Because basically, I'm blowing my retirement savings, right? So it's like I feel good right now, but if I live, eventually I'll need the money. So yeah, not the best financial planning, but oh.
Hey, you know what? You gotta do what you gotta do, man.
And absolutely, and it's Star Trek.
Yeah,
so you're hoping we don't discover immortality then?
Yeah, that'd be bad. But then again, I'll in 2 years down the road, hopefully get my PhD, and I'll be teaching somewhere in Canada or the States or somewhere where it's warm and with health insurance. That's what I'm looking to. Okay. Anyway, enough about me. I don't like particularly talking about myself. Let's start with Keri. Keri, what's new with you down in Southern California?
Oh, not much. I think it's gonna rain again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not gonna be a torrential downpour like it has been most of the month, but it's looking dark and gloomy, and there's rumors of rain again today. So it's a good day to stay inside and play video games and stuff.
Okay, I expect not to see a single cloud when I'm flying down in less than 3 weeks right from now, right? So it's not a single cloud, Keri, and I hold you to it, okay?
I don't have that kind of pull with Mother Nature, sorry. And even if I did, I would not try pissing her off like that.
Oh well.
I don't tell what Mother Nature what to do.
Fair enough. And of course, we have Derek, man, from the hills of Pennsylvania. How are you doing, my friend?
I have been hard at work sending out query letters for my books because January is basically the month that they're open to accept queries. I think I'm up to 54 now for this month. So I'm just chugging out email after email to literary agents trying to land a deal.
And hopefully some wise person as a literary agent will pick you up, because I think I've read your writings before, and they're very imaginary and very well written. So the best of luck, Derek.
Well, thank you very much.
But of course, let's talk about work, because we're talking about work. Not writing so much, but as per our pub, our kitchen. You're in charge of the kitchen. How's our kitchen doing, Derek?
Why did we put him in charge of the kitchen?
Labor market, it's really tough.
Oh, right.
He offered me a very competitive and binding deal that I now have a better understanding of, but I'm locked in now.
Yeah, and there's an NDA. Don't forget that. Okay, I'm gonna sue your ass off. Okay.
Oh wow.
So in honor of this week's subject, I made a delicacy I like to call jumbo fish sticks. What I did was I got, battered fish sticks, and I wrapped them in a really tight little green spinach wrap, because I don't know if you're aware that for the filming of the movie Black Panther 2, they had to digitally remove the actor who plays Namor's package from every shot so that it didn't stick out so much. So today we will be feasting on jumbo fish sticks poking out of green spinach wraps.
Oh God, no.
I knew this was coming, and I'm still no. No.
Let's deep six that right away.
Thank you, Joel.
Okay.
Yeah, I personally don't care for the taste of fish sticks, but hey, all sorts.
Yeah. Okay. We're just gonna move on from there. And yeah, good job in the kitchen, Derek.
Thank you. I try.
Oh, there you go. There you go. And
well,
as you
mentioned, to try.
Yeah, at least you're thinking about it. You're it's a good source of for storytelling, right?
Yeah, ideas I put a lot of thought into those fish sticks.
Oh, God, at least not pizza pops. Oh well. Any which way. Yeah. So Black Panther 2, as Derek mentioned. Well, last week they released the Academy Awards nominations, the Oscars, and Wakanda Forever got 5 nominations, including one for Angela Bassett for Best Supporting Actress. So 5 Oscar nominations. That's decent.
It's a pretty big deal, man.
Time. And of course, the film's dropping on Disney Plus on February 1st, 2023, which is literally what?
Like 3 days from now.
Yeah, Wednesday. There you go. So we're doing an episode on Black Panther Wakanda Forever from the film from 2022, directed by Ryan Coogler. Am I saying it Coogler?
Yeah,
he did the first one as well. Yeah. I'm terrible with names. I have a speech impediment. If I mispronounce anyone's names, it's not intentionally done. I'm doing my best. So there's that. So, yeah, Black Panther. I know we did one on Black Panther, the original, though, at least the first one a couple years ago.
This is true.
And I brought on a friend of mine who's a lawyer from Montreal, Sabine, and she talked about how important it was, the film, to the Haitian community in Montreal, which was excellent. Now we fast forward a couple of years, we're in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and I'm gonna ask you about first impressions. My first impression is that I really liked the first one, and this one I'm very mad, but it dealt with some important themes, but overall, I don't think it had the same level of poetry than like the first one had. It didn't move me as much, and maybe the opening scene or one of the beginning part of the movie in Act 1 where they had the funeral for, of course, Black Panther, T'Challa, and we're going to talk about Chadwick Boseman's death, his real life death, and his fictional death in the movie, which happened off screen. But overall, it's just aspects of it is good. Maybe I'm just seeing too many Marvel movies and too many hero movies that I'm just becoming like a bitter old curmudgeon when it comes to this stuff. But I don't know. I know Derek had some strong feelings for us, and I don't want to start the show off on a downer. So I'm going to throw it over to Keri first for her first impressions. Go ahead, Keri.
Okay, I did really like the movie. I do need to see it again just to solidify a few of my thoughts on it. I haven't had a chance to see it since it came out in theaters, but I did really like the movie. The first 20 minutes is rough. It's just hard to watch and very just you needed tissue. I needed tissues. It was hard, but I found the whole idea of one secret tribe trying to put blame on the other secret tribe that's no longer so secret very fascinating. It's like, oh hey, well, we're gonna blame the Wakandans for everything we're doing because no one knows about them except that they do now, but they're still very secretive, and we're gonna let them take the blame and keep ourselves to the shadows. I thought that was like just fascinating and stuff, and I did like what they did with Namor. I'm not he's not a character I'm very familiar with, but I did like that they made him indigenous to the Central America and stuff like that. So I that was very, very cool. And yeah, and Angela Bassett that is a well-deserved nomination.
I agree. Okay, let's go grab our whiskey, and then we can sit down and listen to Derek and his initial take, because I'm sure we'll need a drink during it.
I'll be right back. Derek, go ahead.
Okay, Derek, you're up, man.
Well, first of all, I'm going to say that I love the first Black Panther movie. It's probably still in my top 10 Marvel movies ever. It's a great movie on every level. I have almost zero complaints about it. It's amazing. It's inspirational. It's fun. It's everything. I love it. The second one, I have to say, I just have a very, very strong negative emotional reaction to on almost every single level. I mean, I certainly can understand that it's a well-made film technically, but I just fundamentally disagree with almost every creative choice made in the movie. And it was just incredibly unsettling and unpleasant for me to watch on nearly every level. And I would say that it's certainly not the worst Marvel movie, because it is a well-made movie. But for me personally, on a purely emotional level, it is certainly the least pleasant Marvel movie to watch, and not one I'm anxious to, rewatch over and over again.
Hey, Derek, you don't have to hold back for us, okay?
And I mean, I just really do not like the fact that the entire movie is just so real world and dealing with the very real and very tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman, who is such an inspiration to so many people. And I mean, obviously Marvel movies have to get serious and all that sort of thing. And, people die in the movies and everything. But this wasn't about a fictional death. I mean, in Infinity War, half the universe dies, but it's not real people. It's a story. But this movie, it really breaks the fourth wall in being a funeral dirge for someone who died in real life. And the entire movie is just a terrible downer for me. I mean, I do ultimately view these movies as escapist entertainment. And this movie was not escaping from reality. It was wallowing in the misery of it. And for that reason, it was not entertaining to me.
So you don't think Shuri and Ramonda should be mourning the death of their family member?
I think they should have recast the role. I don't think they should have killed him that way at all. But even if they had, I don't think that the entire movie should have been about this angry grief, particularly in Shuri. She was a very fun, light, pleasant character in the first movie, and obviously death, does bad things to people, but she was just so, I mean, she wanted the world to burn in this movie, and that is just the complete polar opposite of what was in the first one.
Grief does strange things to people. I do not fault Shuri for that at all. So I'm sorry you felt that way, Derek, but I mean, this was her journey through dealing with the grief of she lost her brother and her mother in the movie. So that's a lot to deal with. And it's stuff that needs to be dealt with, and it got dealt with on screen. So not every movie is going to be a happy one.
Yeah, I think it's open for interpretation. Did Marvel and Disney trade on Chadwick's death in real life in order to add to the story? And if you want to be very cynical, to make more money in terms of box office release and the reception of this film? Or do they had to do something because Chadwick's performance was so strong in the first one and it was so well known that they're paying homage to him?
I think it's a bit of both.
Yeah. I think the homage thing had to happen. Honestly, I think Black Panther, played by Chadwick Boseman, was such an iconic character for such a short amount of time, real time, in terms of the Marvel universe, in terms of pop culture. I think Black Panther, the first one, is a milestone, and they had to address it somehow. And I like the fact, if they had to do this, and actually they had to, I think Derek raised a good point. Maybe they didn't have to, but they did. But at least they made his death off screen. He didn't die in a car accident. He didn't die in battle. He didn't Bosman wasn't CGI'd to play out his finale. Rather, it was muted.
Yeah, it would have been very poor taste to show like a fake CGI Chadwick Boseman dying on screen. I agree with that.
Yeah. To me, I think the first act was very moving, but the entire movie itself was muddled. And it's muddled because of the fact that help me out.
T'Challa?
Yeah. His death, who's going to be the next Black Panther, which is not a big secret if you knew anything about the comic books beforehand. You have that going on. You have themes of revenge and emotional turmoil with colonialism, with the effects of colonialism on peoples, and it just went from there.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before in the Black Panther movies, you really had it's no one is just colonialism. You have slavery, you have the Atlantic slave trade, and the evil legacy of slavery, which is still with us to this very day in places like in our own countries. We can't escape that. We can't escape this horrible legacy.
Right. Yeah. So I think there's just, this is something that needs to be. I think that the themes of this movie are things that need to be dealt with, even if they're hard to deal with. It's like you don't always get to choose how people are going to grieve. You don't always get to choose how people are going to react to their homes being overrun by invaders, by how, their people being slaughtered by colonialism and stuff like that. So I think this was a good movie to use for that, because there's so much heaviness going on with it, and there was still a lot of humor. I thought Ross was freaking hilarious. I thought Val was awesome. The interplay between Ross and why can't I think of her name right now?
Ironheart? What?
Not Ironheart. I love Jea Rhee. That's not who I'm talking about. Denai Guerrero's character. Okoye. Yes, names are hard. I thought that was hilarious. And yeah, you need some humor to offset the grief. But this movie was about grief and about mourning and about a lot of wrongdoings that have gone unaddressed for too long. So yeah, the movie is a lot.
Yeah, I know. I'm just thinking, I've been doing some research into Mexico because of course I'll be there at least briefly in 3-4 weeks time. And I've previously spent a week down in Cancun, and I've taken the day tour to see places like Chichén Itzá, which is part of the Mayan civilization. And this movie, a lot of it takes place in the Yucatan, so where the Mayan civilization occurred, in the form of the Talocan and Talocan, yeah, with God, I'm having a bad speech day. As Namor as the leader, right? Okay, and of course, what happened is like approximately 65 million years ago, you have this large asteroid that hit in that region, which is thought to have knocked out most of the dinosaurs besides birds, right? So it's like, wow, okay, this has come back to me. And the fellow who played Namor, sorry, I have to look his name up. 1 second.
You did include him in the show notes.
Yeah,
you are so fired.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Again,
it's okay. I'm just giving you shit, man. It's fine.
It's always the way. Mabel Cadena.
Yeah.
He actually has Aztec heritage. So Aztec was another civilization / empire in the Mesoamerica. And guess what? I'm going to places that used to be in the Aztec Empire with Randall Graham in a couple of weeks. So like Puerto Vallarta and Mazatlan. Mazatlan. I have to get that down. I can order a beer in Spanish, but
I am Mexican on a technicality, man. Okay. my grandfather was only born there. He was, but my grandfather's family were basically colonizers. So my pronunciation of native places in Mexico are not the best.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
No, go ahead, Dirk.
Speaking of Namor and Mexico, that raises another one of the issues of the movie. Now, I did like Namor in the movie. I thought he was a good villain. I think, it was when I first heard that Black Panther 2 was going to have Namor as the villain, that jazzed me. I was excited for that. And, I kind of am hot and cold about the actual portrayal in the movie. Now, the actor was great. He visually looked great. They gave his little white wings on his feet. Thank God. That's the kind of like dopey stuff in the comic books that I just absolutely love. And, I'm so glad they put that in there. So, and he has his little tight green swim trunks and everything. So on a visual level, he was great. The actor was great. Now, unfortunately, this movie had an Aquaman problem in that the Aquaman movie came out a few years before this. And if you're familiar with the DC comic books, so Aquaman and Namor, they're basically the same character in the comic books. And so when DC decided to make their Aquaman movie, they stole pretty liberally from Namor in the comic books. In the comic books, Aquaman is a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white guy, and Atlantis is, well, it's the way it looked in the movie. It's, magical and, futuristic tech and all that sort of thing. And when they went to make their movie, they made Aquaman not a Aryan-looking fellow, and they used the whole magical ancient Atlantis thing. So that kind of left Marvel in a tight corner when they decided to do their Namor. And the other thing was that, Aquaman in the movies he's a little bit of an asshole. He's a little bit of a rude anti-hero, a little bit, doesn't really want to be a hero at first. And that's Namor to a T. So when Marvel went to make their Namor, they had already been cribbed off of by DC. So they were kind of forced to do something different. So rather than the comic book version where Namor is from Atlantis and it's this ancient, magical, future tech society, they just made him be from, was it Mexico? I forget where.
Yucatan.
Yucatan.
Yeah,
which is
in Mexico.
Yeah.
So they just made him be that, and they made and they didn't use the name Atlantis. They used Talokan instead, which is an invention. And I understand why they had to do that. They were kind of forced into a corner. I mean, it's unfortunate that they didn't get to do a comic accurate Namor in that sense, but I understand why they had to make the changes.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's interesting because if you say Atlantis was an invention by Plato.
Yeah,
It has all the classical Western civilization baggage on top of that. And this film is not about that, except for the bad U.S. government and perhaps the government of France and over the vibranium.
Well, all the
vibranium
first
issue.
world countries that want to steal the resources from Wakanda,
Right.
because that's what they do.
Right. But, it's not about Atlantis per se. And I think the word Talokan actually came from like a Mayan god. So there's lots of tie-ins in Mayan mythology and folklore and culture there. This YouTube channel is, that deals directly with this stuff on point. I like going into this guy's Screen Crush's Ryan Coogler. I think him and his team does a good job and breakdown of that, and analyzing these pop culture movies. So there's that. And I think Namor predates Aquaman in the comics by some time.
He's actually from the 30s, before Marvel Comics even existed, back when it was Timely Comics.
Oh, wow. But I'm hearing you're saying, there was a major movie that was released several years before this one, and therefore, of course, it's going to limit what Marvel could do with the main villain.
Yeah, I don't fault them for having to make changes. The one complaint I did have, though, was that when we finally to visit, well, the one complaint about Namor specifically was that when we finally did get to visit Talokan, I was all excited to see what it was going to look like because, in the Aquaman movie, Atlantis is amazing. It looks so cool. It's like this, futuristic tech, magic, Tron, light everywhere city. It's so cool looking. There's animals everywhere. So I was so excited to see the Marvel Comics version of that. And we go there and it's just kind of this sad, dark city with a few people in it. It was just so depressing looking. I was very disappointed with that. I really wanted something big and expansive.
You understand that you're basically seeing Talokan through Shuri's eyes, and Shuri is not adapted to seeing what the Talokan people see when they're underwater, right?
Right, but there's
Atlantis,
still the fact
Atlantis looks the way that it does because Arthur Curry is part Atlantean and he can see the colors under he can see all the neon and stuff because his eyes adapt to that. Shuri's eyes don't do that. So we're not going to see what Talokan looks like for, the people there.
That's a pretty good explanation for it. But the other thing, though, is that this movie is supposed to be selling us on the idea that Talokan is militarily more powerful than Wakanda. And when she goes down there to see to the capital, I just didn't see it. It just looked like a sad little city. I didn't see any kind of industry or military prowess or anything, or even that many people.
Did you see? I mean, okay, go. Think about Everett Ross before he goes to Wakanda. Would he have expected to see industry in Wakanda? No. So they're only going to show Shuri what they want her to see. The industry could be elsewhere in the civilization, and they're just not going to show her all the secrets, because why would they?
Yeah, and I think that was done intentionally.
Yeah.
In the sense that you have Wakanda, and because of vibranium, right?
Yeah.
Okay. There were a separate, isolated, secret world, country, and they had advanced technology because of their smarts and the resources.
And they were never conquered.
Never conquered. Whereas you have the Talokan, well, they're in the same boat, but they didn't proceed as well. Why is that? Were they asking the right questions? Were they scientific in nature? No, they're more into their spiritual religious beliefs. They were conquered. No, not the city. They were conquered on the land.
They were conquered on land. They went underwater because they mutated.
Yeah. So, and it goes to the plot point. So why did Namor launch, attacked Wakanda, which they consider to be two indigenous groups of people? Why not just go after the big bad Western European types?
Because Wakanda was involving themselves in their business.
Yeah. So this questions there where there's something to it. You can dive deep into the psychologies of the leaders, but of the people themselves. And I think vibranium plays a role into it too. And there's a point which I would love to get your hearing. So vibranium is found in two locations on Earth, both brought here by meteors. One in the Yucatan, the other one's in Africa.
Yeah, there's also a theory that part of Namor's throne is actually made of adamantium. So for those of you trying to figure out how Wolverine's going to get his adamantium skeleton, when they reintroduce him, they have to mine it from somewhere near Talokan, I'm guessing.
I don't know.
I forget. In the movie, do they flat out say that Namor is a mutant?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I really appreciate, because I really appreciate how Marvel is leaning into the basic concept that they established in the comics, where if you're born with powers, you're basically a mutant. If you get your powers from somewhere other than genetics, you're super powered. If you were born that way, like Ms. Marvel, like Namor. Apologies for anyone who hates him. Franklin Richards, May Parker. They're all mutants because they were born with their powers.
What's wrong with Franklin Richards?
There are people who don't like him.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I didn't know that.
Right. I know Derek brought this up offline, but something we should address is the actor who played Shuri / Black Panther, Letitia Wright. She made some controversial remarks several years ago by sharing a anti-vax video from a website that was known for being very anti-LGBTQ and trans. And she got mocked and ridiculed quite, to a large degree online.
She left social media over it.
Yeah, she apologized, and she's trying to put this behind her. And I don't know what to make of this. I really don't.
Me neither.
At the fact of the matter, I really liked her in the first movie, Black Panther. But knowing that baggage, it took away from the story for me. I just cannot get that out of my head. Because she plays a scientist, right? So she should believe in science to some degree. Yeah.
No, because she's an actor. She doesn't.
Yeah. Exactly. How do you divorce the art from the actor? From the person who plays it? That's an age-old question.
And that was one of the other fundamental problems I had with this movie, because not only are we losing Chadwick Boseman and spending an entire movie dealing with the very real life grief of him, who does he get replaced by? An anti-trans, anti-LGBT, anti-vax actor. So she's the new Black Panther now. That's who we get the replacement for. I would have loved it if they had made it Nakia or Okoye. I love Lupita Nyong'o. She is so good in everything she does. She had a vital role in the first movie. She was the one who convinced T'Challa to open up Wakanda to the world. And she would have been a great new Black Panther. I would have loved it if it was one of them. So the fact that, she's the star of the movie, she's the new face of the franchise, is just another real life intrusion on my escapist fantasy that I don't like.
Yeah, I think it's bad for business. I think you're right. I can see that. I also see the other side. If you're a person who happens to be an actor and you sometimes struggle with mental health issues, and she's been very clear about her depression, and she buys into some conspiracy nutty theories out there, right? Okay, which we all know people who've done that in our own very real lives. Can she ever come back from that?
Yeah.
I think, we have to, leave that door open. And, she has shut her mouth about this for years now, and it always comes up in the media. When's enough? If she, I don't say learn her lesson, but maybe she became more aware of the hurt and the injury she has caused people.
Maybe.
I don't know. This is why it's like, again, how did you divorce the art from the people, from the person? Like Woody Allen movies, or there's tons of examples.
Roman Polanski.
Yeah. I don't know. It's sad. Because I really like her actor, and I like her acting, and she has an interesting background, right? And
I would like to say something positive about the movie, if I may.
Oh, good. No, by all means.
Who are you? What have you done with Derek?
I absolutely loved Riri Williams / Ironheart. She was the best thing about the movie. Every scene she was in was fun, and the actress was great from the jump. And I cannot wait for her to get her own Disney Plus series. I think that's next year, not this year. But I thought it was great. And I also love the fact that when we first heard that she was going to be introduced in this movie, I figured it was going to be one of those little 5-minute cameos, right? Like, oh, here she is in the background. And then in the post-credit scene, we'll find out she's going to be somebody. But no, she was actually the central role of the movie. She was the MacGuffin of the plot. She was what everything turned on. And I thought that was a really great choice to introduce this major character in a way that makes her vital to this movie without taking over the movie. I mean, she's what it's about, but it's not about her, if you know what I mean. Like it's not about her character arc. She's just the plot device that everything revolves around. And she was great. I loved her.
Do you think there's anything to be said, the fact that her name, like she's going to become Ironheart, right? The miniseries is going to be named Ironheart. But in the world of Black Panther, a major device is this heart-shaped herb, which is infused with vibranium, which gives them their magical powers.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, it's the whole heart-shaped heart. Like heart is another theme of the Black Panther movies.
I think you're reading some stuff into that.
Yeah, it'd be fun. Let's speculate.
Well, even if it's not a direct plot connection, it could just be a symbolic theming connection. Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah. Hey, what do you make out of the big battle scene on the Wakanda ship?
That was really cool.
I thought it was I'm so tired of these big giant battles, but at least they have it on a ship, right? So this is a different setting. Having a battle on like a floating, flying aircraft carrier is one thing, but having it on a real ship, cool.
Yeah.
And the use of marine life in the assault, all that good stuff. That's good. I like that. And so they play with the sight lines and the way they compose the shots, the film shots, and so you're upside down, or there's the warriors on ropes fighting each other like old pirates, but it's cool. I like that. It's very nautical.
Yeah, that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me of something else. I should mention. So Namor and Black Panther going to war together. That's actually straight out of the comic books. It was from I want to say it was 2012. It was the big Avengers versus X-Men crossover. And in it, the Phoenix Force returned to Earth, and 5 of the Avengers got pieces of the Phoenix, and one of them was Namor. And the heroes, like the Avengers, that were trying to, and then they basically kind of became like power crazy, hungry with the power, and they were going to take over the Earth or something. And so the Avengers leading the resistance, they were based out of Wakanda. And when the Phoenix people attacked, Namor used his powers to flood Wakanda, just like happens in the movie. So ever since then, there's this deep-seated hatred and rivalry between Namor and T'Challa in the comic books. So it was very cool to see them adapting that recent storyline in the movie like that.
Yeah, I can see that. What about the whole post-credit scene with the unexpected plot twist with T'Challa's son?
Oh, you knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, no, Tucson. His real name is of course T'Challa.
Uh-huh. Well, I mean, because Lupita Nyong'o is Haitian, so that it actually tracks with her.
Right.
So that was really cool.
And the fact that Toussaint was a war hero, is a leading Haitian general during the Haitian Revolution. He would be the equivalent of George Washington, but he was fighting against slavery as opposed to being a slave owner like Washington was.
I actually was surprised by that twist. I wasn't thinking about it. And I do remember thinking the whole movie is like, okay, Lupita Nyong'o was like my favorite character in the first movie. Why is she barely in this one? Like, this should be the one that's starring her. It's like, I don't understand why she's off in Haiti and like out of the movie. And then that ending at least explained why she was in hiding. I mean, I still don't like that they didn't use her character more because she was my favorite. But at least it gave a good explanation for why she was on the sidelines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I think this movie, it worked at some levels, other levels it doesn't. Was it a bad movie? No. Was it an outstanding movie? No.
It was a very well-made movie that I just have a very subjective, emotional, negative reaction to, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, well, let me ask you this, Derek. Are you, what do you think about the next movie, this next standalone Black Panther 3 movie, if it ever comes out?
Well, I mean, obviously we're stuck with Letitia Wright as the main character, but I would hope that we would see a lot of Lupita Nyong'o in it and Okoye and everyone else. I hope that it's a good ensemble story, and obviously that it's a lot more lighthearted and not so depressing in real world.
Mm-hmm.
Which of course it will be, unless some other tragedy intervenes in between now and then. But hopefully the next one will be much more upbeat, like the first one was.
Keri, what's your expectations for Black Panther 3?
I have no expectations. I will wait and see what they do with it, and then react accordingly. I try to not have expectations for things because then I get punched in the face. Metaphorically speaking, in this case.
Yeah, it's expectation game, right? So, I try to set my expectations low, and if a movie surprises me, great. I get more value for my money. Any last thoughts before we close the doors on this pub and this topic of Black Panther Wakanda Forever?
I was reading Keith DeCandido's review of the movie this morning, and he pointed out something that I didn't think of that is another legitimate complaint, that the Marvel movies have a very drastic tendency to kill off all of the female characters. And, once again, we get yet another major female death in this movie as well. So that was,
Ramona,
kind of an unfortunate choice.
But at the same time, this is the highest grossing all female led superhero movie in history now.
But Captain Marvel did $1 billion.
Yeah, this did more.
No, it didn't. It topped out at about 880.
We can fact check. We have Google. Yeah, but they both did very, very well, didn't they? Okay. Any other thoughts, Derek?
No. I wish I liked it more than I had.
Keri, any last thoughts?
No, it was a really good movie. I look forward to seeing it again, and I don't understand Derek's dislike of it, but that's okay.
Yeah, it is okay. It's art. You can like it or you don't like it. Yeah. My last thoughts is I'm really trying to figure out a way I can create a cocktail using the heart-shaped herb, which contains vibranium. Like, what do you mix that with? You know, a little some simple syrup or what? You know,
Vermouth. It has to start with a V.
yeah, that might. Yeah, oh, yeah, maybe like a B&B, B Bip, something like that. And you have to have a catchy name to catch on to.
Isn't
So
there like a tomato juice called V1?
Yeah, but
V8.
that's V8. It's trademark. You can't do
V8.
that.
Yeah, so V8, vermouth, and vibranium.
Yeah.
I don't think you're supposed to drink vibranium.
And vodka.
Why are we asking the person who doesn't drink, Joel?
I know. But I'm going to take a trip to Mexico to research this. Okay, I'm going to take one for the team and the science fiction. I want to say brotherhood, but humanhood, right? Okay, that's the problem. Our fraternity, sorority, what do you call it? Our club. Yeah, I'm going to take one for the team. Okay.
There you go.
All right. Let's shut our doors.
You should try the fish sticks down there, Joel.
Oh, God. Nah, I'm not trying the fish sticks. This show is available on most podcast platforms and on YouTube. Subscribe today for listener engagement announcements. Follow us on Twitter at SciFi Pubcast. Yes, we're still on Twitter, unfortunately. And if you wish...
Until it implodes, yes.
Yeah, exactly. If you wish to contact us directly, our email address is management@scifipubcast.space. We love hearing from our listeners. Keri, what's your Twitter address?
My Twitter handle is Keri Blackfire42. That's Keri Blackfire42.
And you're busy doing other podcasts, right?
Yes, I am on DC Talk, Cape Chronicles, and Enter the Dojo over on the Random Chatter Network.
Cool. Give them a listen if you love your superhero stuff.
Yeah.
Derek, what's your Twitter address?
I am at Derek J. Beebe. My website is derekbeebe.com. And since we're at 100 episodes, I just want to say thank you, Keri. Thank you, Joel, for including me on this adventure for all this time. I don't understand anything about how the technical aspects of it work, so I get to just show up and record, and Joel puts it out. So thank you to the both of you for allowing me to be on a podcast all this time.
Amazing. No worries. Thank you for coming on, stopping by our bar, and being a staff person. So, that was very nice of you, right? And I said, not Derek. I mean, the next line on the script.
He associates me with Randall now.
Yeah, so our friend Randall, he writes novels. You follow him on Twitter. His Twitter address is at Randall_Graham. His novels are Before Life, Afterlife Crisis, and Nether Regions, all by ECW Press. My name is Joel. I'm on Twitter at Joel_Welch. It's closing time. Take care. Please make it home safely. We'll see you next time. Bye, everyone. Bye, folks.
Bye.
Wakanda Forever.
Music provided courtesy of Logan Rathbone. Podcast logo by Jea Rhee. Copyrighted Joe Welch. Listen responsibly, and we can't wait for your next visit to our fine establishment. Cheers.